And with that, the operation is complete.
Alright, that's good to hear, Tutcho. Whatever creature's coming for us, we're ready.
That's good to hear. But what about the Froakie?
Oh, I know for a fact Fawn sent that Froakie to try and, spy on us and shit.
But what makes you think that?
Oh, Fawn's been trying to kill me for years, so I know it must be her.
Okay, but that does raise this question. Why do you do these countdowns? They seem to cause nothing but trouble.
Well, Tutcho, I do what I do to entertain people. If I can entertain at least one person, I'm happy.
That's good to hear. But I'm worried that this thing will kill us.
I wouldn't worry too much about that, Tutcho. I know we'll get out of this. And when we do, I'll try and find a way for you to evolve, since we always evolve through happiness.
Thank you.
No problem. And even if something does happen, I have an operation installed on this computer known as Operation Green Candle.
Wait, that command?
Yep. But I guess we'll have to wait and see what it does.
Also, do you think that this creature that has been attacking you for a while is working with Fawn to take you down?
Oh, most definitely. If she is aligned with somebody, like this creature, then I know she's probably going to come after us. So I think it's best I try to contact somebody to help us during this. Alright, then. Oh, by the way, yeah, I tried to pull the game out of the box, but I couldn't. It was wedged in there tight. But there was something in that box as well, and that's where I put it on my nightstand. It's a mask. Monkey mask.
A monkey mask, eh? What does this have to do with this, though?
Well, I think it might have something to do with why some of my thumbnails for the top 80 have weird names, like Apothos, Trance, etc. I think I'm beginning to figure out who this could be. And I know that it must have something to do with this Bloody Mary massacre. Alright. Until then, I'm going to work on part 6.
Let's start off part 6 with Sonic the Sandhog. Based on a combination of a hedgehog and pangolin, Sandslash is a physical sweeper in competitive play. This is because of its ability Sand Rush, which increases a Pokemon's speed when a sandstorm is out. Sand Veil is also good as well, but it raises evasion in a sandstorm, and honestly, I would rather have increased speed than evasion, especially if Evasion Clause is in effect. On top of that, it has a decent attack and speed stat, and a decent move pool to support it. So pair this thing up with a Tyranitar or Rapion, and reap the benefits! I also like the design of this Pokemon. It's a combination of cute with those eyes, and badass with the spikes and claws.
So what? I can easily take those claws off with a Force Palm, or a Rain Dance.
Oh, you shouldn't do that, Tutcho. Sandslash can regrow their claws within a day.
I hate you, Sandslash.
Granted, its ground typing does give it 3 weaknesses, but Sandslash is a great ground type to have on your team when a sandstorm is out, so I'd recommend it. Alright, who's up next? This Pokemon is fantastic. Based on a combination of a Vinagaron and Scorpion, Drapion is one of the strongest poison types in Generation 4. In competitive play, Drapion is an all-out attacker. With a 90 base attack stat, great move pool, and 95 base speed, Drapion can wreck shit up. What also helps Drapion is its abilities. Battle Armor protects Drapion from critical hits, Sniper powers up critical hits, and Keen Eye prevents Drapion from losing its accuracy. I also love its design. It certainly looks threatening, and that look on its face screams, "You better run before I catch you." In fact, it's so strong, it can scrap a car with its arms alone. Pretty sure you could put Ford out of business though. Regardless, Drapion is a great Pokemon to use in both the 4th generation and competitive play, and I highly recommend it for fans of the Poison type. How to describe this next entry? Close enough. Dusknoir may deliver souls to the afterlife, but Chandelier can destroy souls. I wish I was kidding. Aside from that though, Chandelier was a surprise for me. For one, it has a typing of Ghost and Fire, which makes it pretty unique because no other Pokemon aside from the Chandelier line has this typing. I also like its design. At first glance you may think, oh, it's just a Chandelier. Lame. I'm gonna go praise Electrode. But it's not just a Chandelier. It also has yellow blank eyes, powerful flames, and has the scare factor of disguising itself as your Chandelier. What also helps is its stats. That special attack stat is insane! It can get as high as 427! That is damn impressive! The rest of its stats are pretty good too. But in terms of competitive play, Chandelier is a really great special attacker. Combine that with a great move pool in its abilities, and Chandelier is a dangerous ghost type to fight against. Speaking of abilities, let's talk about them. Flash Fire powers up your fire type attacks if you're hit by a fire type attack from your opponent. Flame Body has a chance to burn a Pokemon if Chandelier is hit by a physical attack, and Infiltrator bypasses the screen attacks, Safeguard, Mist, and recently Substitute. That's really cool. It also had Shadow Tag as its hidden ability in the 5th generation, which prevents the opponent from escaping the battle, but it was removed in the 6th generation. Why? I don't know. When I used this thing in Gen 5, it was a really great Pokemon to use. It helped me during my run through the Elite Four, and it partially helped in defeating Owlder. I didn't like ghost types before, but Chandelier made me change my mind. It made me interested in this typing. So what did we get in Gen 6? Oh my god, that is so adorable! So, what's better than a Chandelier and a Scorpion? A freaking Samurai! What? I showed the part 1! Just show the real one! It's been a while since I talked about a Steel type, so how about I fix that by talking about Bisharp? One of the things I like about Bisharp is its unique typing of Dark and Steel. With this typing, Bisharp has 9 resistances, 2 immunities, and is neutral to Fairy at the cost of 3 weaknesses. I also love Bisharp's design. As I mentioned before, Bisharp is based on a combination of a samurai, a Japanese bandit, and kaijin, humanoid villains found in Japanese monster movies. As for competitive play, Bisharp is a physical attacker with its attack stat reaching a maximum of 383. He also has 100 base physical defense, which is also really good. And its abilities help Bisharp out even more. Defiant increases Bisharp's attack stat when one of its stats are lowered, Inner Focus protects the Pokemon from flinching, and Pressure raises the opponent's power point usage. Combine that with a great move pool that supports that physical attack stat, and you got a great Dark type from Unova to use. But it's no Gallade, so let's move on. In Generation 2, Scyther was given an evolution. Not only did it get boosted stats, but it also got a new typing of Bug and Steel. But, just like Gothitelle, I didn't use Scizor until long after the entries were finalized. However, Scizor is not the only Bug and Steel type out there. You can probably tell that I like a lot of the Gen 5 Pokemon, and Durant is no exception. At first glance you may think that Durant is another shitty bug type that's trying to rip off Scizor. But when you look at its stats, you might be surprised. With a 109 base speed stat and really good physical stats, which can be boosted even further if it has Home Claws, Durant is a really effective sweeper to use. On top of that, Durant's typing gives it 8 resistances, immunity to poison in the 6th generation, and only has 1 weakness.
So what? Scizor has everything you talked about and more! What makes Durant so great?
Simple. Unlike Scizor, Durant is able to counter its weakness to fire. Sure, it may not have stab on those moves, but it's something. And the rock ground moves are physical too. I also love Durant's design. Based on either a silver spiny ant or an Argentine ant, it looks very threatening, especially with those glowing red eyes. But that's not all. Its jaws are strong enough to dig into mountains, and when Durants attack, they attack in groups to defend their territory. What do they attack, you ask? Heatmores. Though why does that idea of a fight sound more interesting than Bardock versus Ginkgo? That fight sucked! In Gen 6, 2 pseudo-legendaries got a Mega Evolution, making them even better than before. But you may be wondering, which of the 2 am I talking about? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Tyranitar. The first pseudo-legendary in the Pokemon series, Tyranitar starts it off strong. In competitive play, Tyranitar is used to set up Sandstorm for your Sand team.
So, I can kill it with its weakness before it gets that chance.
You think so, right? No. Tyranitar has an ability that makes setting up a sandstorm even easier. That ability is known as Sandstream, which summons a sandstorm when Tyranitar is released onto the field. Combine the bonuses from the sandstorm and Tyranitar's awesome stats at the cost of speed, and you have a powerful tank on your team. Hell, it's so strong, it can bring down a whole mountain to make its nest! A whole mountain! However, its other ability on Nerve is fine if you don't mind having your Pokemon eat the berry early, but compared to Sandstream, it's an afterthought. Sure, its typing of Rock and Dark gives it 7 weaknesses, including the new Fairy type, but on top of its immunity to Psychic and 6 resistances, it's not that big of an issue.
But wait, from what you described, Tyranitar just looks like a Pokemon with all attack and no defense. So why is it higher than the other ones?
You were saying?
That's broken!
Oh, please. You should see Mega Tyranitar's stats. I also love Tyranitar's design. Somewhat based on Godzilla, it certainly looks threatening. To close, Tyranitar is my favorite pseudo-legendary in Pokemon. It has an awesome design, great stats, great abilities, and was one of my favorite Pokemon to use in the 2nd generation. So, the last time I did a huge countdown, I dipped my toe into a pro-life debate. So, this time, how about I dip my toe into people who believe in aliens? The guardian of an ancient city, Sigilyph is a flying psychic type from Gen 5 who can fill a number of roles on a variety of teams with its move pool, stats, abilities, etc. Based on the Nazca lines, Sigilyph is a special sweeper. With a 97 base speed and 103 base special attack, it can be a real monster with the right setup. One of the reasons for this is because of its abilities. Wonder Skin reduces the accuracy of a status move to 50%, Magic Guard prevents Sigilyph from getting hit by status moves, and Tinted Lens powers up not very effective moves. Plus, with its typing, Sigilyph can resist 3 types, has a ground immunity, and the only downside is that it has 5 weaknesses. I may not use a lot of psychic types, but to me, Sigilyph is an exception. It's strong, it has a great design, has a great typing, and I loved using it through my run of Unova. Although Generation 4 is my favorite generation of Pokemon, when I played through Diamond and Pearl, I only really used one starter. I'm sorry, but the Turtwig line didn't look interesting to me, and Infernape, just no. So based on that process of elimination, you know what the entry is. Known as the Emperor Pokemon, Polian is a water steel type that can kick ass and take names. Disregarding its low speed, Polian's stats are pretty balanced, and it appears to be a special wall with its 101 base special defense, but it also has a 111 base special attack stat that can deal with walls like Roserade. In fact, Polian's so strong, it can slice apart drifting ice with its own wings. That's pretty impressive. As for its typing, Polian gets a poison immunity in the 6th generation, and gets about 10 resistances, at the cost of 3 weaknesses. But still, that is one bulky Pokemon. I also love its design. Based on an Emperor Penguin, oh that's why it's called the Emperor Pokemon. It looks like a badass, especially with the front of his body looking like a suit. Plus, it also has that trident on its head. Looks really cool. Too bad its anime appearance was pretty lame. And don't even get me started on Don's Piplup. But you know what? At least the manga did Polian a little better. Don't believe me? It takes on a freaking Dialga with Drill Peck, Gurren Lagann style. Why couldn't that happen in the anime? God damn it! And here's my Generation 3 entry for this part. Known as the Iron Armor Pokemon, Agron is a Pokemon that can claim mountains as its territory and can kill intruders without giving a crap. Yeah, I think Agron takes the term no trespassing to an extreme degree here. In competitive play, Agron can either be a powerful wall with its 180 base defense, or a powerful physical attacker with a 110 base attack stat and its Rocket ability. But its other abilities aren't bad either. Sturdy helps Agron deal with its dual weaknesses to fighting and ground, and Heavy Metal doubles Agron's weight, which is helpful if Agron ever uses Heavy Slam on its opponents. I also love Agron's design. Based on the Pulgasari, a monster from Korean legend that eats iron, it certainly looks threatening, especially with that skull helmet on its head and bulletproof armor. Agron was my go-to Pokemon in Ruby for defense. With its move pool, stats, and typing, it managed to hold its own against several gym leaders and the champion. It was that strong. But wait a minute. Pulgasari had a film in 1985, and that was somewhat based on Godzilla. Why is Mega Agron pure steel then? Come on, I want to see an armored dragon! Regardless, Agron is my favorite steel type in Pokemon. I just love everything about it. So thank you, Agron, for all the great memories. Back in the second generation, we had Sneasel, a dark ice type with good speed and physical attack. But at the time, dark and ice type moves were special based, and Sneasel's special attack stat was utter crap. Seriously, what the hell? But in Gen 4, Sneasel got redeemed. Now this is just badass! Not only did we get the physical special split in Gen 4, but now Sneasel gets even more awesome! First off, its design. Weavile is somewhat based on either cats, weasel, or the Kamitachi, which is a weasel demon with sickles on their front legs. There are other possible inspiration for the design, but it would drag this segment out longer than it needs to be. Bottom line, Weavile looks badass, especially with those claws. Kinda reminds me of a Pokemon version of Wolverine. In battle, Weavile is a physical sweeper with a base 125 speed and base 120 physical attack. Plus, this time around, due to the split, some ice and dark type attacks are now physical, such as Night Slash and Ice Punch. So combine its great speed and attack with a great move pool that supports it, and you have a menace on your team. Especially since Weavile has the highest speed of all ice types and is tied with Darkrai for highest speed for dark types. That is awesome. Another thing I like about Weavile is its unique typing of ice and dark. Aside from Sneasel, this is the only Pokemon to have this typing thus far, and that is kick-ass. Plus, I also enjoyed its appearance in both the manga and anime. Although I didn't care for Paul, I loved watching his Weavile kick ass. It was a very powerful Pokemon, and I also liked Silver's from Pokemon Adventures, because it was also strong, and it had a bit more character to it. It had a closer bond with Silver than any of his other Pokemon, especially because it was the first one Silver ever had. I will admit though that its typing has 6 weaknesses, one of them being a 4x weakness to fighting, but on the plus side, it does get a Psychic immunity and 3 resistances. Overall, I love Weavile. It's badass, it has unique typing, it made me like Sneasel a lot more, and I highly recommend it for a team of sweepers. So with that, we have 20 entries to go. See you next time!
Okay, another part done. Alright, Froakie, I think it's time for you to talk. We have some questions for you, and we want you to respond. First off, did Fawn send you? Froakie, I want to remind you that I have a Persian over there that knows Thunderbolt. And I think he's itching for some fried frog.
Okay. Yes, I was sent by Fawn to spy on you. She's working for somebody to take you down and masqueraded itself as an NES game, okay?
Interesting. Should have figured that. She couldn't... Last time she tried to capture me, she failed miserably, so she had to get some assistance. Alright. Wait. What could it mean? I got it. I should have realized this with all the freaking thumbnail words. Apathos, Trance, Earth and Mars. The Bloody Mary Massacre. Oh, you have gotta be kidding me. I know what this is based off of.
Wow. It looks like you figured it out, but I'm afraid it's too late to stop me now.
I should have known.
The guy couldn't stop me. Godzilla couldn't stop me. And now, it is time for my revenge.
All because of that crap. I should have known. The psychic trance. The demonic ritual. The names. You are that creature.
It was rather easy convincing that stupid Satanist to perform his ritual.